Yesterday, I went down to the Occupy Denver rally. There were a number of different solutions and viewpoints offered on the economic problems that our country faces right now. It took place at Civic Center Park, which is across the street from the state capitol, and about 1:15, maybe a little earlier, we started marching down the 16th Street Mall toward the Fed building. When I was there, conversation was mostly respectful, and the few people who I didn't really appreciate what they're saying to me didn't try and grab me, didn't try and stop me or hassle me when I was walking away. On the whole, it was a pretty positive experience when I was there. I had to leave early because I had other commitments that day and my parking meter was starting to run out. So when I heard later, around 4:30, that police were starting to get into riot gear and were preparing to make arrests, it came as a big surprise to me. Here's some of what I saw yesterday and some of the people I talked to.
We are the 99%!
And why are you down here?
I'm down here because I want to help the people get their message across and feed who's ever hungry.
So I understand the food was taken in the last couple days, right?
It was. They stole our medical tent, and the police have stolen our...
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, it is a good thing. They've taken our medical supplies, our security checkpoint that we had, our bag check. They've really done a number on us, but as you can see, we're rebuilding.
So we're not all jobless hippies out here.
Of course not. That's the thing that is complete sham about what people say about all these people. I mean, yeah, there are homeless people out here, but there's a lot of homeless people. There's just a lot of dissent. I mean, there's a million different ideas on what we should do, and right now we just need a fair monetary policy, and not just in America, but in the whole world. We hope to just get people, thinking and mad, and at least know that your government in every country all over the world is trying to take over everything because they're run by the rich people.
So there's quite a police presence over on the Hill. Do you think that this movement is in any way dangerous?
It's not dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous to the comfortable 1% of this country that just take whatever they want and then, expect us to thank them for the crumbs they throw us down on the table. I'm not a dog, I don't serve.
I see you're wearing a Guy Fawkes mask. What prompted you to wear that?
Just to get some attention. Yeah, just to tell people we're not going to take it.
So there's quite a police presence over on the Hill.
I saw that, yeah.
Do you think that this movement is at all dangerous?
I think it's very non-violent, very peaceful. As long as we keep it peaceful, everything will be fine.
Quite a police presence over on the Hill. Do you think that this movement is at all dangerous?
I think they're looking to stop it and interferes with it, but if we stand in our rights, there might be some conflict left and right, but we have to stand in our rights because it's we the people. We have to stand for this. It's the only way we're going to get change.
Well, the cause seems right now to be somewhat ethereal, but really, to me, it's about the Supreme Court decision to support free speech of corporations, just like they're individuals. It's also about the lack of any attempt to forgive debt, even to some degree, to make up for the lost value of real estate. So I think that working people are really taking the brunt of this economic downfall, whereas the banks and the real owners are not. I think people on both sides of this issue are confused as to how to proceed.
Right. And so there's quite a police presence over on the Hill. You're not afraid to bring your kids here?
We're about to dash out of here, I think, because of that.
I think that this is really a struggle for the heart and soul of America.
So one of the main criticisms of this movement is that it's not going to accomplish anything anyway, so why do it? What's your response to that?
Every movement that started out got told that.
Yeah.
Every movement in history.
And you don't think this movement is dangerous at all?
No. Well, I think it's dangerous to the status quo.
Okay.
But it's not dangerous to the people.
I am
extremely concerned that we're losing our democracy. It's the nation is turning into a oligarchy where corporations rule, and not the people. The ordinary working people, their salaries have not gone up in 30 years. I am disappointed in Governor Hickenlooper and his stand.
Yeah.
He's a millionaire. He doesn't have the problems that all these people around here. And I am blessed with good health and sufficient money to pay my bills and help my children pay their bills.
Okay. And so what brings you out here today?
At the age of 18, I became a participant in the Vietnam War.
Okay.
In 1969, I got assigned to the 11th Brigade 13 months after the My Lai massacre.
Okay.
And I've been championing the rights of soldiers and protesting wars ever since, and that's why I'm here. I'm old school.
So do you think that this movement is dangerous at all?
The only danger is to continue to allow the Wall Street run amok and to continue to control us. We got nothing to lose, and I don't see no danger at all.
So if there's just one thing that you could say to everybody out here, what would you say?
Dare to struggle, dare to win.
So there's a bit of a police presence. Does that make you nervous at all?
No.
So you do not think that this movement is dangerous?
There's elements in this movement that are dangerous.
Okay.
Which most people are trying to kick out and don't agree with.
Okay.
It's kind of been co-opted by, I think they really are like self-proclaimed anarchists.
Okay. And so you don't agree with that?
Oh, heck no.
Okay.
I don't even know why they're here, because I don't understand. If you're part of anarchy, why do you want to move in with a group of liberty lovers that are trying to come together and bring freedom about when that's not even what they're about? So I don't even know why they're here. All they're here to do is make trouble and make it look bad. So.
Okay.
I mean, I'm all about freedom of speech, and if they want to, make that their point, I'll live and die for that. Everybody has their freedom of speech, and I'm not against that. But there are elements of anarchists here that are trying to cause trouble.
All right.
So, and I know the police are here to watch those folks.
All right.
I know that for a fact.
So you think they're here protecting our rights?
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I've talked to a lot of police being out here, and they're down with what we're doing.
Okay.
It's just they are keeping their eye on certain people.
The way that our government is run right now is not sustainable. And so if we can come together united, knowing that we can hold a space of love and truth, that we can make changes, and changes can only come from within ourselves. There's a whole lot of change that can be made within someone by just knowing there's other people supporting them. Regardless of what is being said about us not being able to make a difference, it's more about the difference that we're making in one another's lives.
During that part of the rally, the police were pretty helpful. They helped stop traffic and make sure that when the pedestrians were marching that none of them got hit and that there were no traffic accidents. So again, hearing that arrests were made and that pepper spray was used and allegedly batons were used came as a real shock to me. A few of the cops seemed kind of disgruntled and not happy to be there, but they weren't openly hostile to anybody when I was walking along. I've been trying to understand what happened to cause this change in police behavior. Apparently, some of the protesters went into the middle of the street, and some people say that they were kneeling, some people say that they were standing and locking arms in the middle of the street and blocking traffic on Broadway, which I am totally against. I think that if police did take action, I'm not sure how they did it, but that is something that needs to be stopped, because people have the right to protest. They do not have the right to cause a public safety problem. And another thing to keep in mind is that while the people at the protests are trying to represent the 99%, people who are in the 99% also have to drive home from work, and making those people mad at you is not helping your point. So I understand if police action happened because of that. What I don't understand is why the police have now taken down the food tent 2 days in a row. Governor Hickenlooper and Mayor Hancock have, gone on record saying that protesters have the right to be in the park from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. Those are the park's open public hours, and that there's no overnight camping allowed, but people do have the right to be there. So I don't understand why the food tent was taken down, especially before the 11 o'clock curfew 2 days in a row. I found people on Twitter saying that protesters were surrounding the food tent with their arms linked, trying to protect it, and the police took it down anyway. There is at least one confirmed report of police using pepper spray on protesters to try and subdue them. There have also been a number of unconfirmed tweets about police using batons and beating protesters. I haven't been able to find anything in the news about that being true or untrue. There were 24 more arrests yesterday. The peak of the crowd during the march was between 2,000 and 3,000 people. So I've seen a lot of angry tweets on the Occupy Denver hashtag, people saying, well, if these protesters keep doing things to get arrested, then they obviously aren't representative of the 99%. And I have two things to say about that. First, if you look at history, that's obviously a ridiculous statement. Second, if only 1% of the people were doing things to get them arrested, then 99% of those people weren't doing something to get them arrested. And the 1% does not represent the 99%, which I think is the whole point of this protest. So I would have to say, if you are angry at the protesters or confused about what they're doing or not sure what's going on, go down to Denver or go down to wherever people are gathering in your city and talk to them. Because I certainly don't think they have all of the solutions, but I do think that if this many people are frustrated, then it's something worth listening to and worth understanding. Sometime in the next couple days, I'm going to do a video on the brief history of freedom of assembly in the United States of America, because I think it's very important, if you're going to go out there and protest, to understand the history of your rights and what you are and aren't allowed to do, so that if the time comes, you can defend yourself and that you know your rights. Until I see you next, please keep watching what's going on, take care of yourself, and be safe.